Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Oh, one moment. And enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you another Let's Play episode of No More Future. And as always, with me within tow, I have Sedge.
Hello. I hope. I don't know. Jesus Christ, I don't know how to fucking do introductions anymore, it seems.
It's fine, we're keeping that in, that's nice.
No!
Everything's raw here on Drakewing Gaming.
Redo.
But yeah, Sedge tells me that this particular playthrough we're going to be doing is going to be pretty awesome, right?
Yep.
Oh god, ooh, I can't wait. Alright, let's do it. And I'm voicing most of the characters, and Sedge is voicing one in particular. So, let's get into it. Okay, you silently nod as you head in the direction of the commotion, which only grows louder with each passing moment. Meanwhile...
Ouch, that hurt. Do you really just shove me so hard?
Quiet already, and listen!
That one's a girl, by the way.
Oh, that's a girl? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Alright. We don't have all night, so you better do as I say, or you will get hurt. You better do as she says, pretty thing. You wouldn't like her when she's angry. Oh, fuck off, prick. Pipe down and let me do my thing already. Sure, whatever. You now. Where's the money? Sedge?
Yeah, I said, huh.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Bonk.
Don't me, you sack of shit. You know what I said. Now tell me where it is, or I'll beat the living shit out of you until it comes out.
But I...
Hmm? What the... Hey there. Fuck?
No was the one who told you check this out, but this...
Too late to back down now. Look, I don't want any trouble. Yeah, right. I'm serious. I just want you to let that guy go. If he's responsible for something, I'm sure we can... You got no idea who you're messing with, do you? Ain't gonna say this twice. Pack your bags and leave while you can, weirdo. There's no need for threats. Just let that guy go and we can all go home. You sure talk an awful lot, tough guy. Well...
Ah, crap.
You asked for it! Oop. What in the...
So I take it you're angry now?
Yep.
You sure is what you want to do?
Guys, some help?
We don't have to do this if you don't want to.
Maybe. But I do. Well, looks like somebody wants to die tonight. You landed a lucky blow, pal, I'll give you that. But that shitty cosplay won't save you from what's coming, asshole. What? The...
So, ever gotten into a fight before?
Believe it or not, no. Especially not with this new body.
That's okay. Luckily for you, we plan to have a situation like these. Your body should be more than capable of taking these guys on.
Alright then. Let's do this. You fucking... Ugh! Stop fucking dodging, you son of a... If you insist. Ah! Fuck, it hurts like hell! Oh, really now? Ooh. Ooh, man. I'm so sorry about that. I hope you can forgive me. Ugh!
Maybe the idea of like doing different like letting you do all the characters was bad. Yeah, kidding. At this point, we're getting.
I'm having to pause between them to catch my breath.
Yeah.
You worthless. Ow!
Don't think so. I know I shouldn't be enjoying this, but grit. This special surprise is sponsored by Pandora.
Yeah.
Another one down for the count.
Hey now, don't get too excited about this. Speaking of, what the hell is that?
1 second.
No problem.
Just a standard safety feature for situations like these.
Am I supposed to have one? We'll talk about that later. Right now, hey, are you alright?
Hey, huh? Oh, hi there. Yeah, I'm doing fine, but...
Huh?
Oh dear.
You. Is that a guy or a girl?
The guy.
Okay. You.
What the... Is that an ice whip?
You two worthless sacks of shit are coming with me. And don't you dare try anything funny, asshole. One wrong move, and I turn you into a fucking ice block.
Gosh. What would you also finding an ability user here? Stay calm. I'm sure that if we try to calm him down, we can...
Ha! Cool magic trick.
Huh?
But my cousin knows even cooler tricks than that. Whoa! Let's end this. Gnats?
Right here.
Ugh! You monster! You let me down. I'll fucking freeze you, I swear to... If you insist. Ah! Gah! Like I'm voicing Batman sound effects.
Ow. Quick. Bam. Boom. Fucking kablavo or something.
Kablam. That's it, right?
Yeah, looks like it. It wasn't a pretty show, but at least now it's over.
Ooh. That was awesome.
Phew. Looks like it's finally over.
Yeah, seems like it. You take one last moment to look around you after everything is said and done. The unconscious bodies of the three hooligans you just fought lay scattered across the alleyway, half hidden by the shade. No sound comes from the nearby streets, and nobody in the nearby houses seems particularly interested to check on the suspicious loud noises that they undoubtedly just heard. It appears as though the coast is clear, for now at least.
Looks like that ice whip didn't damage your systems too badly. Nice work getting rid of it so quickly.
I guess you could say I had a lot of training in that regard. You wager that the thug's inability to properly gauge the threat that you posed was instrumental in their demise. Without the cover of night assisting you, it's impossible to tell how the battle would have unfolded, or even if it would have been fought at all. Indeed, perhaps it would have been better that way. You try to shake these thoughts out of your head as you commend your handler for her own actions during the scuffle. Nice work to you too, by the way. Couldn't have handled two of them at once like that.
Oh, don't mention it. I was only doing my... Oh my gosh, what are you even saying? You actually fought people and helped you do it! I need to report this right away. This was supposed to happen, oh my gosh.
Hey, wait, are you...
Oh my gosh. How am I supposed to tell Mary about this? There's no telling how she might react.
As if suddenly remembering that you're still here, the canine addresses you once more.
You can return home from here, right, Isaac? Without getting into another fight, I mean.
Yeah, I can. I'll try to lay low and get home as soon as possible. It should only take a few minutes from here. You're gonna be okay, right?
Oh, yeah, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I'm mostly worried about you since, you know. But I'm sure everything will be fine. Just gotta check in with Mary is all. I'll update you later in the night, or tomorrow morning at the latest. I'm sure we'll have figured out this thing out by then. I really gotta go now. This can't wait any longer. I'll catch you later. Stay safe.
Sure, you... The line is cut before you can finish your well wishes, and once again you're left hanging. Looks like you're going to be on your lonesome for a while. Better get used to it.
Excuse me?
The shy ram you just rescued approaches you with a gentle, shy smile on his face.
Hey, so, thank you for, you know.
You'd totally forgotten about the dapper-looking youth, in spite of the fact that you went out of your way and probably got into loads of trouble exclusively to rescue him. Since it's taking him a while to mutter his thoughts out loud, you decide to move the conversation a little ahead to compensate. Yeah, I get it. Don't worry. You don't need to thank me. Glad to see you got out of it unscathed. Last thing I wanted was for you to get hurt because of me.
Hmm? Get hurt? What do you...
The sheep stands motionless in the middle of the alleyway for a while, his eyes darting all over the place as if trying to find something you can't see. His face brightens up all of a sudden as he turns to speak to you once more.
Oh, right. Those guys were robbing me. Now I remember.
You stare at the Caprine youth with your eyes wide open, completely devoid of words.
They were robbing me, right? I'm not misremembering, am I?
What are you... Of course not. Those guys were threatening you with all sorts of stuff when I first arrived. Did he somehow forget about all that? Or was he simply not paying attention?
Oh, that's right. I remember now. I already thanked you for saving me, right?
He could also just be pranking you, you reason. There's little else that could explain why every line he spouts makes less sense than the previous one. And yet he speaks with such genuine conviction, you find it hard not to believe him. Yeah, you already did.
Oh, great. Awesome.
He seems quite happy with himself for some reason, while you're just as dumbfounded as ever. Right. Well, if you don't mind, You make as if to leave, seeing no further point in hanging about this gloomy place any longer. However, the ram starts walking right by your side as you do so, seemingly intent on following you around for just a bit longer.
So, what exactly are you?
I'm sorry?
I mean, you're obviously not human. I've seen people with cool-looking prosthetic limbs before, but nobody quite as many as you.
You struggle to believe these remarks could be interpreted as anything more than an elaborate prank, and yet the seriousness in the young man's query begs to differ. You never heard of synthetics before? At the mention of the term, the boy instantly turns as red as a tomato.
Oh, you're one of those. That makes total sense. You're one of those,
Androids?
Yeah, an android. Right.
The fluffy stranger has the weirdest, widest smile on his face as the two of you quietly leave the shady alleyway. You try your best to focus solely on the street before you, and not on the three sleeping crooks you left laying in that cranny. Here's hoping they don't catch a cold or something while out in this weather. There's an awkward silence in the air, which the sheep seems wholly oblivious to. You're tempted to start a conversation just to rid yourself of it, but you wonder whether that might actually make everything worse. Luckily for you, it doesn't take long for the youth to turn to face you once again and ask a question of his own, looking both curious and befuddled.
What's an android?
You seriously don't know? The lamb shakes his head, looking totally oblivious. Well, I used to be human once, then some stuff happened, and now I'm like... this.
Wow, that's so cool.
Cool is not exactly a word you'd use to describe yourself or your predicament. Although, you might have to review that judgment after that stunt you pulled a few minutes earlier. You have to admit, what you did back there was quite impressive. You certainly never could have taken three-armed thugs like that when you were a regular human, or mustered the courage to even attempt to do so for that matter. Just where did all that conviction come from all of a sudden?
Wait, what's your name?
You're taken aback by the sudden question, which is full to the brim with genuine interest. Out of all the questions you've received from strangers in the past few days, this is definitely one of the least common. My name?
Yeah, you never told me, so... Or did you?
No, I'm pretty sure I didn't. You're a little unsure about sharing your name with this odd stranger, but in the end you decide that there's little point in keeping it secret. My name's Isaac.
Isaac. That's a pretty name.
You think so?
Yeah, I really like it. I'm Apollo, by the way. Nice to meet you. Oh, I didn't share this before either, did I? Sorry, my memory's not all that impressive.
You don't have a hard time believing that, judging by everything he asked so far. No, you didn't. Nice to meet you, Apollo. Ram smiles brightly yet again right as you say that. He seems like a rather friendly and straightforward guy, all things considered.
So, where are we going?
We? Well, I'm heading home, for one. It's been a long day, as you can probably imagine.
Right. Anyway, I guess I'm going home too. Wanna head there together?
Which home are we going to again?
Not sure. Which one would you rather go to?
It's a weird inquiry after weird inquiry with this guy. Kinda reminds you of your first time talking to Mary, only a whole lot worse. This does get you thinking, though, given that Apollo was just attacked by 3 unknown assailants. Would it be wise to let him return to his place on his own? No. As much as it pains you to admit it, it would be neither prudent nor polite to do so. The best course of action would be to escort him to his residence and then return home afterwards, even if this does put you at risk of further danger. Well, just so we're on the same page, you live around these parts, right?
Pretty sure I do, yeah. The condo we live in should only be a couple minutes away.
Pretty sure is far from convincing, truth be told. But it's better than nothing as well. In that case, how about I travel with you until then? Just so that you have somebody to talk to on the way home, of course.
Oh, that would be wonderful. There's so many questions I want to ask. As soon as I remember them.
You sigh as Apollo begins a long, seemingly unending stream of questions that will undoubtedly more than cover your brief time together. The two of you continue walking down the poor, desolated streets of Bloomburg side by side, gradually becoming more accustomed to each other's company. The circumstances that led to your introductions weren't the greatest, but so far the young lamb seems more or less alright in spite of his severe issues. With some luck, the evening might yet end a little more nicely than it started, preferably a lot more quietly, to boot. That's about all you can pray for, right about now.
Alright. How are you feeling so far?
I love it. It's awesome. Apollo is a cute character. Just what the hell's wrong with his brain?
Well, we'll get some more opportunities to talk to him before we end the video.
Awesome.
So let's move on.
Alright, the walk to Apollo's apartment was brief and rather uneventful. The curious young man asked you numerous questions about your android body, which you were happy to answer whenever you knew how, anyway. Aside from that, nothing really happened on the way to his destination. No other hooligans attempted to jump you, and the few people you encountered on the way there seemed intimidated enough by you to steer clear altogether. Not too pleasing a reaction, to be honest, but at least it prevented any further confrontations. You're rather worried at the start that the land would prove to be difficult, at least as a guide. However, he seemed quite confident as he directed you both through the urban jungle on the way to his home. Eventually, much sooner than you thought, the two of you stopped before a familiar-looking building. You're joking, right? The edifice before you fits amidst its surroundings rather elegantly, if nothing else. It's a standard multi-level condo unit located right beside a local park, surrounded by a rather tall but very brittle wall. Not enough to deter any would-be intruders, but it at least keeps the park's vegetation at bay if nothing else. Nevertheless, around these parts, this would definitely be considered a luxury complex, and a pretty decent one at that. Due to the area it's located in, and possibly due to the corporation that owns it, the building looks more clean and modern than its surroundings, if only barely. However, at the end of the day, it's just another apartment complex, same as many of the others in the city. The only interesting feature it possesses is that you can clearly see is a large symbol hanging above the main entrance, belonging to an anonymous company known only as Selene Inc. You should probably be wondering how someone as unassuming as Apollo ended up living in such a prestigious place. However, there's something else you've noticed about this place that's preventing you from considering that. As you're trying to process this new piece of information, Apollo breaks the silence with a subdued but nevertheless delighted comment.
Ta-da! Here we are. Home sweet home.
Noting your enduring silence, he tries to connect with you once again.
So, what do you think? Pretty cool, huh? It's so big, tall, and...
Dude, it's my house! And just like that, now it's the lamb's turn to be quiet. This is quite a shocking turn of events for sure. One that probably doesn't justify that overblown reaction of yours, though. You hastily try to salvage the situation as much as you can before you can ruin Apollo's impression of you too. Well, my condo, anyway. It's not like I own the place or anything. And you're telling me you live here too?
I do, actually. Crazy, right? What are the odds of that?
Yeah, what are the odds of that? And possibly low if you had to guess, though the lamb doesn't seem to care all that much about it. Without a second thought, he nonchalantly grabs your arm and subtly invites you to continue forward alongside him.
Well, I guess we'll be splitting up here after all. Wanna stick around till the elevator?
You take a moment to think things through before making yet another stupid decision. However, with the memory of your encounter with those hoodlums still fresh in your head, it doesn't take you long for you to accept. After all, it's not like the lamb's company has been bothersome so far, so you can definitely spend a few more minutes alongside him. As long as no other interesting coincidences show up, at least. Sure, I can follow you along. What floor are you on? The lamb doesn't answer your question immediately, seemingly needing a moment to remember things.
I think it's the third, right? Yeah, it's gotta be the third.
That's not too far from the lobby. You're pretty sure he could just take the stairs and reach his floor in no time at all. That said, what if this is his way of asking you to stick around for his own protection? What if he's worried someone might still jump him while he's inside the building? It's definitely a ludicrous fear, but not one you're willing to rule out entirely. Either way, you should probably say something before he starts asking you what's wrong. I see. I'm on the 5th myself.
Oh, cool. I've never been there, but I hear it's a pretty nice place.
It's, definitely a floor. This kid certainly makes some interesting remarks. You're simultaneously curious, concerned, and very afraid. Probably for no reason. You can be quite paranoid when you want to be, after all, and that encounter from earlier didn't help. You still find yourself reliving that dreadful event every other moment. Or even thinking. No wonder you can't seem to focus. Seeing you stuck amidst the clouds, Apollo begins nudging you forward a little harder, looking quite eager to get inside.
You alright?
What? Yeah, I mean, yes, of course.
Awesome. Well then, shall we go?
Yeah, let's get a move on. The two of you head towards the large entrance in front of the building. A pair of gentlemen wearing trench coats and ties are chatting about things you can't and don't wish to understand near the glass doors. The smell of cigarettes poisons the air, likely coming from a large pile of burnt butts on the ground. It's still just as unpleasant as ever, even as an android, though Apollo appears to be handling it rather well. You try to ignore the two men as best you can while you accompany Apollo inside the building, but it's not quite so easy. Why am I not surprised to see those two together? That bitch running this place better be earning millions for housing weirdos like them here with us. The two men continue chatting and laughing behind your back, confident that you can't hear them. Out of respect for Apollo, you do your best to pretend that you don't. You walk into the main lobby of the building, closing the doors behind you. Compared to the freezing cold outside, the air here is much warmer, albeit still just as fresh as the rest of Bloomberg. The lack of annoying jerks sneering at you or mumbling inappropriate remarks under their breath is also rather refreshing. You're thankful that there's still some places in this world where you can relax in peace and quiet. Apollo takes a few steps forward, stretching his arms up high as if he just woke up from a deep slumber.
Ew. Goodness, what a day. I don't think I've ever been happy to walk through these doors.
You can say that again. I can't wait to get home and call this a night. I'm completely exhausted.
Oh, come on now. It's only 8 p.m. or something like that, right? I'm sure you got some space in the belly for a meal or two.
Not necessarily, no. I'm an android, remember? I don't really need to eat.
You don't need to, but you still like to, right?
Yeah, I do, but... How did you know that? You don't recall ever telling the lamb that piece of information, or anything regarding this subject, truth be told.
I mean, come on. Who could say no to a nice dinner? I know I could never say no to Daphne's cooking. You can't look at all that lovely goodness she makes and not feel compelled to devour in a heartbeat.
He does make a good point, even if you don't have any idea of what he's talking about. I guess I understand what you mean. There's nothing quite like a hearty meal after a long day.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. No resist a nice, cozy dinner of friends and family. Well, with family at least. Can't exactly vouch for the whole friend part.
You don't have many friends? The lamb remains awkwardly silent, scratching the back of his neck in assent. Looks like the two of you are more similar than you originally thought. Apollo may look a little out there by your standards, but you know his struggle's far better than you'd like. Well, at least in this regard. Can't say you were ever jumped by street thugs in a shady-looking alley before. Well, if you ever feel lonely and need an extra mouth at your table, feel free to call me anytime.
Really?
Only now do you realize what you just told the total stranger. The thought appeared in your head so quickly, so you didn't even wait to process it before you blurted it all out. For a moment, you wonder whether you even made the right call, making a brazen suggestion like that completely out of the blue. The two of you have been chatting amicably for a while, sure, but wasn't it a bit too disrespectful inviting yourself to his place like that? Like the two of you are already close friends? Do you even want to be his friend? You only just met after all, and other than having helped him out of a tough situation earlier, it's not like you're particularly close or anything.
Sure, feel free to come anytime. We always leave leftovers, so I'm sure she won't object to seeing a little less in the fridge.
Apollo abruptly interrupts your train of thought with his now familiar breeziness, a wide smile on his face. He seems very genuine in his invitation, too. He never did call you a friend, but it's clear he trusts you more than a stranger, at least. It feels nice.
Well, shall we go?
Yeah. Lead the way. The two of you make your way past the lobby until you reach the compact elevator on the other side of the room. Once there, you press the button to the side and patiently wait for it to arrive. While you wait, you turn to face the lamb once again. He's staring off into space while hanging by your side, pondering something that's not readily apparent to you. Something on your mind?
Oh, nothing. I'm just wondering if Daphne's already home or not. Her job lasts until the late afternoon, but sometimes she takes even longer because of her errands.
I see. You still have no clue as to whom this Daphne might be, though you assume her to be a family member or someone else who lives alongside him. Before you can ask him more about that, however, the elevator door opens before you. 3 young men around Apollo's age come out all of a sudden, looking rather upset for whatever reason, though that annoyance is nothing compared to what they show as soon as they realize that you're there. They don't speak another word as they make their way towards the lobby, only giving you and your lamb acquaintance a few scornful looks as they do so. They resume their chat after a while, their voices much harder to hear than before, likely for the better. You've heard enough insults whispered behind your back for one night. Nevertheless, this is getting rather tiresome. Right as they leave the building, Apollo snaps back from his sudden stupor, only now noticing the angry look on your face.
Hey, are you alright? What's wrong?
It takes a moment for you to answer his question, your mind still focused on those jerks from earlier. Yeah, I'm good. And yet the anger within your gaze isn't as quick to dissipate as you'd hoped, and the lamb is quick to notice.
Are you upset at those guys who passed through just now?
Seeing as there's no way to avoid it, you sigh and admit what he already knows. Yep, nailed it right in the head.
Yeah, I figured. I saw them in the hallways a bunch of times, I think. Never struck me as a friendly type, though they always love to chat amongst each other. What did they say?
Enough. The sheep makes as if to inquire further, but refrains at the last moment.
I'm sorry about that. I wish I could have done something to help.
It's fine. It's not your fault they left their manners at home. Apollo's lips curl into a shy smile, though it's clear he's nowhere near content with the situation. You have the feeling that this isn't the first time something like this has happened to him, though you can easily tell why most people give you the cold shoulder. It's much harder to understand what he did to earn these sorts of reactions as well. You decide not to worry about it too much for the time being and simply get back to what you were doing. Either way, the elevator's here at least. Let's get on it before someone else decides to ruin our mood.
Right. Lead the way, Isaac.
Without further delay, the two of you quickly step into the elevator. Once inside, a sophisticated-looking tablet melded into the wall itself shows you a list of possible floors. As soon as the lamb presses the one leading to his floor, the doors close behind you and you begin a slow descent. As it lies right on top of a cluster of small mountains and hills, Bloomberg was originally built with the intent of maximizing not only the space above ground, but also the space below it. Where other cities extend upwards towards the skies, Bloomberg extends downwards towards the darkness. All of the residential buildings here have at least one floor beneath the first, with condos like this one often having several. Some of the more luxurious buildings, especially further uphill, extend so far below the ground that they would have challenged the tallest of skyscrapers, had they only been built in the opposite direction. If you recall correctly, the long-term plan for the city is to have not only the buildings, but the entire city extend below the ground, with a vast transportation network rivaling that of the greatest metropolises in the world. The idea is likely to make the streets and cars above entirely obsolete, and free up tons of space that could be used for something. As it stands, however, this plan is nothing but a distant mirage, as even the most basic of preliminary works have yet to be performed allegedly. Speaking of works that have yet to be performed, how come you're still stuck in this elevator? It's been a hot minute since the doors first closed, at least. Seeing as you recall this piece of junk being just a tad faster than this, you decide to ask your Caprian buddy for confirmation. Hey, I'm not the only one who thinks this elevator's taking a little too long to go down a couple floors, right?
Now you mention it, we have been here for a while, haven't we?
We have, yeah. Do you think there's some sort of trouble with the elevator systems or something?
Could be. Maybe we should ask the building support AI. I'm pretty sure she can reach us here. She's just a C grade, but she should at least be able to tell us what's going on.
It's worth a shot. Following Apollo's suggestion, you turn to face the tablet on the wall and try conversing with it, hoping you can provide some answers. Let's see. Ah, there's the button. Selena, we need some help. Not even a second later, a monotone feminine voice replies through the tablet speakers. You want me to... Okay.
How may I be of service?
Only one sentence in, and she's already less annoying than Arthur. Why couldn't the lab coats over at Pandora hook you up with something like this instead of that waste of RAM? We feel like we've been stuck here for ages. Can you tell us if anything's wrong with the elevator?
Query acknowledged. Analyzing. Multiple similar queries from earlier in the day found. Returning answer. Warning. Minor malfunction detected in the elevator's mag movement system. Elevator speed currently clocking at 1.69% efficiency. Time to move from one floor to another estimated in 1 minute and 37 seconds.
Both you and the lamb turn to face one another for a moment, evidently startled. This thing's not gonna fall with us still in it, right?
Reasonable fear acknowledged. Worry not. Chances of critical system failure estimated to be statistically irrelevant. By all means, you are practically safe.
That doesn't sound as comforting as you think it is. Oh, let me know when to stop, okay?
Yeah, don't worry.
Alrighty.
As soon as we leave the elevator.
Okay. Can't you just give us a rough estimate?
Concerns acknowledged. Request denied.
What?
Explanation required. Consider. Humans are statistically likely to panic when they're told that they could die, in spite of how improbable the source of that danger may be. For your mental safety, the answer to your query has been refused.
You've got to be kidding me!
If you believe this to be a lapse in my judgment, you're advised to report his interaction to Celine Inc. for review. Would you like me to send a ticket to their support team?
You take a deep, long breath to calm yourself down, mostly for old time's sake. Arguing with the crappy AI is pointless. Arthur already taught you this lesson several times. All you can do is ask questions and pray that you receive coherent answers. So, how long until we reach the 3rd floor?
Very acknowledged. Calculating. Estimated time of arrival is 2 minutes and 57 seconds.
Good. Have you already notified the owners of the building of this issue?
Celine Inc. has already been notified of a malfunction by the previous users of the elevator.
That would explain why those men already looked so annoyed when you saw them come out of the elevator. But that's no excuse for the way they reacted to you and your friend afterwards.
A local maintenance firm has been contacted and repairs be performed overnight. Standard efficiency expected to be restored within 14 hours. Celine Inc. apologizes for the inconvenience.
Well, that's better than nothing, you suppose. Thanks, I guess. You can go now. We can handle it from here.
Understood. Please enjoy your ride.
And with that unintentionally ironic remark, the voice fades away. You turn to face Apollo, who's looking quite apologetic for some reason.
I'm sorry. This is all my fault.
Huh? What are you talking about? This wasn't...
It was. I'm the one who suggested to take the elevator, remember? It was my fault you were caught up in the setbacks as well.
You can see where the lamb is coming from, but even then, this is nothing to get so worked up about, especially considering that you have more time to play around with than you ever did before. Did you really need to apologize for a 3-minute-long setback? Come on now, this is nothing worth apologizing for. Apollo looks lost for a moment, unsure of what to say. You make as if to reassure him, but before you can say a word, he vigorously shakes his head as he tries to calm himself down.
You're right. I'm overreacting. Sorry about that. It's a little hard for me to keep emotions in check when I'm feeling stressed.
Can't say I don't know how that feels. Even as an android, sometimes it's difficult to rein myself in when I'm annoyed or upset. But that's why you gotta stop apologizing. I'm not upset with you. You're just a poor kid who's had a rough night. Apollo's eyes look remarkably teary all of a sudden.
Really? Do you really think that?
Of course, why wouldn't I? His uncertain expression cracks into a faint, timid smile under your honesty. It takes him a few seconds to realize just how red his cheeks have become. He immediately returns the other way, as if hoping you never saw that. Seeing as he's currently too embarrassed to chat with you, you decide to try and push the conversation yourself for once. So, how long have you been living here? As if awoken from a trance, Apollo once again turns to face you, a faint shade of red still lingering on his face.
A few years at least, if I remember right. Which, you know.
Right, I gathered you don't trust your memory all that much. The lamb quietly nods, looking more awkward than embarrassed now.
Pretty much, yeah.
It sounds like either he doesn't know the specifics himself, or he's not too keen on sharing them with you. Either way, there's no point in inquiring on this topic any further. That's okay, so a couple of years, huh? Where did you live before coming here? Apollo hesitates to answer your question.
Virginia Beach?
In California? That's a long way from here. Isn't that place really expensive to live in as well?
It is. Also, I've been informed that Virginia Beach also is a location in, well, Virginia. But in this case, it's a made-up location in Cali.
Oh, that's interesting. I see. Did you move here because you thought it was cheaper?
Something like that.
Looks like the young man's not at all too thrilled to answer your questions. Not like you can blame him. You haven't known each other for long enough to justify you asking these rather sensitive questions. Alright, I get it. You're not comfortable answering these kinds of questions. My bad.
No, it's not your bad. If anything, it's...
He interrupts himself, an unsure look on his face once again. He sighs a final time before trying to explain himself.
I want to answer your questions. I really do, but... I'd rather not talk about my past if I can avoid it. I can remember most of it, and the parts that I can...
I understand. I'll refrain from mentioning this topic again in the future. I'm sorry for not realizing this sooner.
No, it's fine. It's better to figure stuff out sooner than later, isn't it? I'm just glad you still want to talk with me despite all my problems.
Of course I do. You're a pretty cool dude.
Thanks. I'm enjoying your company as well.
That's nice. After a brief few moments spent smiling at each other, you resume your conversation with the hope that it won't sour again. One thing I wanted to ask you earlier was who you were talking about back in the lobby. You gave me the impression that you lived with someone, but never elaborated on that. To be fair, the boy looks old enough to live on his lonesome. However, given everything you know about him so far, the likelihood of that being the case appears to be rather slim.
My sister, Daphne. She's a few years older than me.
Ah, so that's who that was. Must be nice to share the apartment with someone you know.
Yep, we've been living together for practically forever, really, so it felt natural to us.
I understand. What do you guys do for a living?
Well, she works as a waitress at a bar downtown, while I... just stay home and study, I guess.
That doesn't make any sense. There's no way they could afford a place in California or even here with so little to go on. A waitress and an unemployed kid? Who are these people really? There you go, asking yourself questions you probably shouldn't. You try to keep your intrusive curiosity repressed inside you as you continue the conversation. So, you said you're homeschooled?
Not exactly. I just spend my days reading every free book on the internet I can find. I haven't gone to regular school since I got my diploma a couple years back.
You read whatever you can find? No preference at all?
I guess I kind of have a thing for medicine and physical therapy. I've always dreamed of becoming a nurse or a doctor and use the knowledge to help people. Not as it becoming an actual nurse or doctor, mind you. School was always a nightmare, and I can't imagine college being any better. I mean, more like a hobby than anything else.
That's definitely uncommon, you reckon. You can't say you've ever heard of altruistic people like this not wanting to go into med school or treating their passion as a hobby. On the other hand, you definitely relate to his feelings on modern education. You don't remember your time in school particularly fondly, even after losing the ability to attend following your situation. In this regard, this young man reminds you a lot of your younger cousin, too. I see. So you basically want to become your sister's private physician.
Yeah, that's it. That'd be a lot of fun. Honestly, she can be quite a handful to deal with sometimes. I can remember all the times she came back home hurting like hell, and I...
Sounds like the worst waitress position you've ever heard of. Is her coffee shop on a fighting arena on the side, too? As confused as you are, you try to console the panicking young lamb. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's fine, don't worry. She's a lot tougher than she seems at first glance, and she's the hardest work you'll ever meet. I just can't help but worry a little sometimes, being her brother-in-law.
Must be nice to have someone always around caring for you like that. You're ashamed to admit it. You're ashamed to admit that it kind of makes you a little jealous. Right as you're about to ask even more questions, the elevator finally ceases to move after what felt like an eternity.
Oh, that's my floor.
Yeah, it took long enough. The doors open and the two of you step outside, glad to be finally free.
Alright, we can stop here if you want.
Alright, that sounds good. Oh, that was nice. And we got to meet a cute new character.
Best boy.
Yes, he's rather adorable. I like him. I love his appearance. He's so dapper looking.
Back when the second build was released, like, it ended right after the comic sequence. Well, first it was like, it ended right before the screen changed to Isaac's condo, basically. And back then, people used to really dislike Apollo because, like, they only knew what little we shared in the walk from the fight to the house. So, but since then, like, in the following build, people really started to like him. So I hope that'll be the case for here too. And maybe we'll also meet someone else in the next build, which might be interesting as well.
Ooh, okay. That sounds good. Alright, well thank you so much, Sedge. I appreciate this. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Please go play this game. It's awesome. And I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!
Okay.